Southern Colorado deer and elk adventure has officially begun. Is that a buck you chewed?
Absolutely.
Have a plan, but don't fall in love with the plan.
That area just had a giant drug bust.
I'm shocked.
Perturbed. Look at that.
Southern Colorado deer and elk adventure has officially begun. Probably about an hour from the campsite. I'm getting down here the night before Brad's gonna join me, but I want to try to get a campsite before all the weekend warriors show up. But I'm really excited about this hunt. I've lived in Colorado my entire life and have never hunted high country mule deer. A friend of mine, Steve Fernandez, has hunted this area with his family a bunch and kind of turned me on to it. I came down with him in early August and we did a little scouting trip, saw deer and elk. And Brad and I both have deer tags. Brad had a rifle elk tag he was supposed to hunt with Chris and me a little bit later this year, but for a variety of reasons couldn't make it work, so he turned it in and now has an elk tag for this unit. So if we're glassing deer and elk start bugling, we'll chase them, and otherwise we'll put the time in and hopefully glass up a couple of nice muley bucks. Well, got in, got the wall tent set up in the dark, and I think getting pretty well ready for the morning hunt. Just gonna be a morning mule deer hunt for me, scout, wait for Brad to get here tomorrow afternoon. The wind's been whipping pretty good. I think it's blowing in a cold front. It's supposed to be cooler tomorrow and Saturday. I'm ready to hit the hay. It's gonna be a relatively short night and get after it tomorrow, see what's going on. The next morning, after a 1.5 mile ride on the ATV, I was set on hunting a basin I scouted back in August. All right. It all looks good. It's always nice to have scouted a new area at least once before you come in, and things are looking familiar. So I've got about a 1/3 of a mile hike to get to this little meadow and be able to glass. It's probably another 1/2 mile up to get above timberline. But just to be able to stay down where the wind thermals are kind of coming down and catch stuff moving. Again, it's first morning more of a scouting, really see what's going on this time of year because it's a 1.5 months since I've been here. When I came and scouted this August, set up down there, and it was an evening scout. A couple of nice bull elk came out in these little spruces here in the bottom. A doe fed out. There was a buck feeding in those little tiny trees almost at timberline. There's a herd of elk up there at timberline. But after hunting all morning, I didn't see one animal in the woods. And not even hearing a bugle had me concerned. It's a little disappointing. I have to leave here with about 3 or 4 hours of light remaining, but we got a lot of time left and need to get Brad settled in camp and get started hunting together. I returned to camp to meet up with Brad and look at our options for the evening hunt.
Hello.
Hey. Good timing.
Hey, deer hunter here. Hey, man.
And another one just arriving.
Yeah. Hey, great time.
You did.
Yeah.
I mean, we barely...
Brad Billingsley and I have hunted together for 20 years, but lately it's become a challenge due to obligations and family. Brad is a seasoned hunter and has hunted around the country since he was a kid.
You got it.
Awesome. Let's put a bear on the ground. Let's put a bear in camp.
Oh my goodness.
Nice bear. Congratulations. That's so awesome.
Awesome having you here, man.
It was really super windy last night, and my guess is that it probably kept the animals down a little bit. Did not hear a bugle.
No. That's a little surprising.
There's a couple spots we can glass from here and either hunt from here or just take the ATVs up about a half a mile and then dump off either side and just go exploring.
Okay. Cool.
And
It's
then
big country.
it's big.
Huge
And it's
country
steep.
out there.
It's
Is it?
steep.
That area just had a giant run bud.
I'm shocked.
Perturbed.
Pure Hunting is brought to you by Browning, the best there is, and by Browning Ammunition. Wooden Stream Boots, footwear created for the great American outdoors and beyond, and these other fine companies.
Alrighty.
Brad Billingsley and I went bow hunting for mule deer and elk in southern Colorado. But after 2 days of hunting and not seeing or hearing anything, it was time to change up our tactics.
Quiet night in the woods.
A lovely hike.
Not a whole lot of fresh sign either.
No, there really wasn't.
I think we just get out and get up high.
Just stay up there.
I agree.
Okay.
Looks like there could be a little weather rolling in.
You know, there's not supposed to be moisture-wise.
I've been here about 6 hours. Haven't seen a thing.
It's a gorgeous-looking country. There's got to be critters here.
Yeah.
At the end of day 3, Brad and I were running out of options.
Isn't this where they pop out of from behind every tree? Start frolicking in the meadows?
About 4 hours ago, we said if we didn't see anything, we'd be shocked, disappointed, and
Slightly perturbed.
I don't remember what the other word was, but here we are.
We're all three of them, even though we don't know what the third one is.
I'm shocked.
Perturbed. My suggestion is we go up and over and just see what lies ahead. We can look at the maps tonight, see if there's another big basin. You know, that'll just give us, just keep following the basins till we find the deer.
I don't know what other options we've got.
Yeah, so there we are in relation.
After looking at the maps that night, we decided we needed to relocate to even have a shot at seeing some animals.
So we can come up and over.
When we got to the top to glass the next basin, Brad got a call from his friend Joe, who lives in the area, and explained why we weren't seeing any animals.
I got Willi here. What?
Hey, Willie, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Joe. How are you, man?
So we're up.
Good to hear.
We're up on Park Mountain.
That area just had a giant drug bud. Opening weekend, apparently 2 hunters found the crop, turned it into the federal and local agencies.
One of the biggest marijuana busts ever in a national forest in our state. Law enforcement found more than 10,000 plants growing in the San Isabel forest.
Hunters discovered 10 acres of marijuana plants nestled in the San Isabel National Forest. Law enforcement is grateful these hunters did the right thing and gave them a call.
And it has been getting hit hard in that area with people looking, finding, removing, burning. Quite a bit of commotion in that area, close to where you're at.
You were saying that there were helicopters all around as well, huh?
There was definitely helicopters flying the area daily.
Oh man.
Well, whether that's the issue or not, there's nothing around here.
If you haven't even heard anything,
They're gone.
they're definitely not in the area.
Have a plan, stick to the plan, but don't fall in love with the plan. Is that a buck you chewed?
Absolutely.
Well, so far our plan worked. Some of the products that I've come to trust and use regularly in the field are all of Tenzing's line of backpacks. One of my favorites is the Tenzing 6000. It's a 6,000 cubic inch backpack. So unlike some packs where you have to get to the main compartment always going through the top of the pack, everything with the yellow zipper allows you to get to the main compartment. You can clip anything to your pack, your rattling antlers, anything else to the outside. Tons of zippers, tons of compartments, a rifle and bow pocket. In addition, most of them come with a rain cover. One of the great features about the Tenzing 6000 is the separate meat compartment that it has. There's lots of adjustments for pretty much any size person. It's small enough you can use it as a day pack, but I've taken it on a 7-day backpack hunt as well. This has become my go-to pack.
I've been here about 6 hours, haven't seen a thing.
I'm shocked.
I'm perturbed.
After 4 days of not seeing any deer or elk, Brad and I found out the reason why.
That area just had a giant drug bud.
With the animals most likely driven out of the area, Brad and I decided to strike our camp and move further south.
So we spent the first 4 days where I'd scouted and Steve and I'd scouted, but whether it was the drug bust activity or not, we just weren't seeing very many deer. So we're picking up and relocating further south in the unit. So as you often need to do when you're hunting public land is have a plan, stick to the plan, but don't fall in love with the plan. Now we're relocating, I don't know how many miles further south, but it's going to be about a 45-minute drive to get around to the new trailhead, new camp site and trailhead. So see if we can't make something happen here in the last couple of days.
With time running short, Brad and I decided to forego base camp and bivvy hunt for the rest of the trip.
We just got a couple hours, so we'll not even that, an hour and a half. So we'll get somewhere, set up camp, and be ready for the morning.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. Big country.
The next morning, we finally found some mule deer.
I count 8.
Oh, 8? There's 8. Did you put horns on the one?
There's horns on the one I'm looking at. I can't tell if he's a fork. Is it? What are your thoughts on it? Is that a shooter in your book, given the hunt and where we're at, or?
Sure, there's a chance for giant deer up here, but it's not like I've got 7 or 8 of them under my belt and I'm going for a 160 class. This is, seriously, you spotted them, it's your buck to go after. More importantly, is that a buck you shoot?
Oh,
Where we are in the hunt, we don't have 2 weeks left.
I say absolutely, okay. Without a doubt.
Gain a bunch of elevation. The left side of the deer pretty quick. It's really hard to formalize a stop when you can't even see the animal. Those deer pulled a Houdini. I don't know what made him move so fast instead of just feet across the hillside, but my guess is, since we didn't see him go across up here, is that he came up into the saddle, dropped over to this knob. So since we're up here, my guess is go set up in glass. I might see him moving across this hillside and see other deer. I don't know.
So far, moving south has been effective, and as the clouds rolled in, so did the elk.
It's a branch antlered bull. I think he's by himself.
Still moving to the right. He's gonna work his way into that thick stuff.
Yeah. Well, so far our plan worked. We wanted to glass this hillside. There was a bull moving across there. And you saw a cow with him, right?
Cow followed into that thicker stuff.
There's a couple open parks here. I heard a cow mew down here. I don't know about the bottom across there. And a little faint-hearted bugle. I think we need to go set up here and glass this hillside and listen.
Okay.
I think stuff's moving up. And he's moving across. There's probably more elk over here. He It looked like he was going in the direction. I mean, moving to be with a purpose. Yeah. All right. Be sure to check out Tenzing for their full line of packs, from small day packs up to the 6,000, which is a phenomenal pack for the backcountry hunter. I travel a fair amount on some of my hunts, and when I'm traveling with my gear, I trust Plano to get my equipment there safely.
Pure Hunting is brought to you by Fox Pro, high performance game calls. Hoyt, get serious, get Hoyt. And by Wilderness Athlete, the authority on outdoor performance nutrition. And these other fine companies.
Look at that.
Country.
Finally, after 4 frustrating days, Brad and I found some mule deer.
I count 8.
The mule deer gave us the slip, but we ended up on the trail of a small herd of elk.
It's a branch antlered bull.
Since Brad had the elk tag, we decided to try a blind setup where I stayed back 100 yards to call the bull in, so hopefully Brad could get a shot.
I would get in these pine trees and have me get back in the trees so the elk has to find me. Let's try to make it happen. I can't think of I've been in some pretty places, but this would be a pretty spot to kill an elk. Oh my gosh. So let's make it happen. All right, go.
After a few minutes of calling, the bull came in from behind and straight towards my position.
What happened? Did you ever see him? Nothing. Didn't see it or hear it. What happened? I was up on top and I rolled a rock down here. And I was coming walking down here and I look up and right in that gap. I think I surprised him as much as he surprised me. Yeah. He was coming in, so I tried to get my phone out. I didn't have any way to capture it, and then he took off.
Was he a decent bull?
I mean, he was a decent 5. He wasn't a monster 5.
Yeah.
Between a raghorn and a mature, but...
Yeah. We got a long way to go down this ridge, so plenty more setups. So hopefully we can pull one more in.
After the hopeful encounter, we moved to a different spot to try again.
About 15 yards, right around up the ridge. There's nothing I can do. He was coming right at me. That was my biggest fear. Oh man, I'm heartsick. Did you catch any of that? God, Willie. I was sitting right here. There's only a few minutes in your calling sequence. All of a sudden, a bull is right there about 20 yards. He comes up and he stops about right there, raghorn. I knew there's no way to draw. And I don't know if he was looking back at you, looking at me. But all of a sudden, the wind was good, but he just didn't like it. He turned and ran. That's when I started calling. I was just trying to get him to stop, thinking maybe I could get a shot at about 40. Dude.
It's exciting.
Oh, it's exciting. It's frustrating. if I'd have been parked back in there, it would have been a whole different game. Although, who knows when I would have seen him.
Well, that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. You hit a bullet 15 yards, you didn't get a shot, or don't understand how much things have to go right for bow hunting.
Oh my gosh.
Brad and I continued our pursuit of the elk, but in the end, we came up empty.
2 bulls, huh?
It was quite the adventure, and we almost
Pulled it together.
the deer hunt turned into an elk hunt, and we
Yeah.
almost got one killed for you.
Yeah, we didn't get into elk really until day 6, and just wonder if we had 3 or 4 more days to chase elk, what we could do.
Well, they obviously weren't where we started. Started with deer, and they were here, and you know, that's kind of the fun thing to me about hunting a new area, but also the learning curve's so steep. You got to learn a new area, and are the animals there, and if so, where are they, and how do you hunt them?
I'm proud of our effort. We put on a fair amount of miles, and we found some elk, and didn't come together, but it was a great trip. A lot of fun.
It was a
Thanks
great
for
trip.
helping to put this thing together.
Well, you know, with your younger kids and work schedule, you and I haven't gotten to spend as much time in the woods over the last couple of years, and it was a great time to just do what we started doing in 2006 together, was bivvy hunting.
Yeah,
And we've learned a lot, and we continue to learn, but it's fun to do it with you.
sure is. Well, look forward to many more, and hopefully the kids will join us soon.
I'm sure they will.
All right.
Well, we're not far from the trailhead. It's nice to cross the creek and be on relatively flat ground.
Yeah.
So many things can go wrong on a hunt that you have no control over, but even the most difficult hunts are fun and keep me coming back for more.